Welcome back to Father and Son Fix. In this episode, we're going to show you how to sweep and mop a floor the old-fashioned way. This is what you'll need: a broom and dustpan, a mop and bucket, and a little bit of elbow grease and some finesse. Let's get to it. So here it is. Oh no, there's no special cover or attachment. It's just a broom and a dustpan. And a standard issue rope mop. Of course, everyone's favorite, the yellow bucket. Now here's some tips for sweeping. You don't want to swing the broom, and we'll cover this as we get into it. A lot of people think, oh, you gotta swing it back and forth, move that dirt around. That's a mistake. What you want to do is slowly move the broom across the floor, pulling the dirt over into a pile. If you're dancing around with it or swinging it back and forth, you're going to have all sorts of dust in the air, and really, you're not going to get the dust off the floor. It's just going to land somewhere else. So that's our first tip. Now, the second tip, you can sweep the floor, and you can also sweep the baseboard too. So you can get on the baseboard there and just sweep it off. Works great. When you get some dust or some stuff collected, you can tap the broom lightly, not too hard, because again, you don't want to stir up a lot of dust, but just to empty out some of the dust that you've collected to keep on sweeping. Now the dustpan. If you've got a hair catcher, it makes it really easy to pull the hair right off of the end of the broom there. We'll show you how that works. And didn't quite get it there, but here's a nasty little ball of hair. Okay? So that's pretty straightforward. Now the next tip is, don't bend down with your hand and put your face in the middle of all that dust. Use your foot on the back of the dustpan and lightly pull the dirt and the dust into it. It's very easy. And there goes that little piece of hair, but don't worry, we've got the rest of the room to sweep, and we'll take care of that. And here we are, on to the next step, the mop. So, there are some important mopping tips as well, if you want to do the job right. Step number one, well, the most important part, all-purpose lemon cleaner. Or pine, if you prefer, pine. All-purpose lemon is our favorite. Now, here's some important tips on simply how to attach the mop head. A lot of times, people don't get that on there securely, and it creates quite an issue with the dirt and just sliding around. It's not doing what it's supposed to. So the mop has a mechanism here where you're going to slide the mop head on through the hole at the top of the head, and then you tighten the mop to securely hold the mop head in place. Okay, great. Now we're ready. Now when you get started mopping, this is the wet mop in the first part where you've got the cleaner in the bucket. Go ahead, get that mop nice and saturated in the water. And when you squeeze it out, you don't want to squeeze it out all the way. You're not trying to dry the mop again. You want to leave some of that cleaning solution on the mop head so that it can do its job on the floor. So don't squeeze it out all the way. Okay? We call that, let's say, 3/4 squeeze, because you also don't want a sopping wet mop. Now, you don't want to dance with the mop either. It's not your dancing partner. Okay? A lot of twisting around like it's a fork with spaghetti. None of that. What you want to do is very carefully pull that mop head across the floor and around in an overlapping pattern that carries all the remaining dirt with that mop head, so you don't leave any sitting on the floor anywhere. Then, when you've made a couple passes, back to the bucket, agitate the mop in the bucket, much like you did in the beginning, and then squeeze it out again. And remember, you're not going to squeeze it out all the way. Let's call it a 3/4 squeeze. Perfect. So here we are at the very end, and you can see how dirty the water is after we've mopped the whole floor. And you think you might be done, but there's one more step, and we'll get to that in a moment. Now as you finish up, this is when you do want to squeeze the mop fully. On your last pass, you want to squeeze all the water and all the cleaning solution out of that mop head to get ready for the next step. Because you think you might be done, but to really do the job right, you got to rinse the floor too. And this is what separates the men from the boys, the girls from the women, etc., etc. The rinse is what gives you that shine without any wax, because you're taking off another layer, whatever last little speck of dust or dirt, and also it doesn't leave a lot of the cleaning solution on the floor. It's still going to smell nice in the room, but you're not going to have that sticky or any gummy buildup or any of that with the cleaning solution. Now, when you're doing the rinse mop run, you do want to squeeze it out fully each time. And that's important because at this point, you're almost drying the floor a little bit. But you don't want to go with the sopping wet mop here. You want to rinse, agitate, then squeeze it out completely. And here we are after rinsing the rest of the floor. And you can see you pick up a little bit. Of course, it's not going to be as dirty as the water before, but it's an important step to take it to the next level. Just like with your final wet mop, you want to squeeze it out all the way when you're done. So let's take a look at our progress and see the results here. Wow, that's amazing. Simply sweeping and mopping. No Swiffers allowed. We hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.